Good day to you, Mom Devona, and good day, everyone. Today, we are going to talk about what is inquiry-based teaching strategy, benefits of inquiry-based teaching strategy, and strategies for implementing activities. So let's talk first. What is the inquiry-based teaching strategy? So it is developed in the 1960s. Many teachers see inquiry-based teaching strategy as a new pedagogy, meaning they have questions about how to use it and if it's worthwhile. So like problem-based learning, proponents state that letting students investigate solution to open question has a range of advantages, but the pedagogy research back approaches to reap these advantages. So inquiry-based teaching strategies for the many educators who aren't, it is a learning and teaching method that prioritizes student questions, ideas, analysis to highlight the pedagogy nuances. It is important to define inquiry-based teaching strategies from both a learner and a teacher's perspective. From a student point of view, inquiry-based teaching strategy focuses on investigating an open question or problem. They must use evidence-based reasoning and creative problem solving to reach conclusion which they must defend or present. So from a teacher point of view about the inquiry-based teaching strategies focuses on moving student beyond general curiosity into the realism of critical thinking and understanding. You must encourage students to ask questions and support them through the investigation process. Understanding when to begin and how to structure an inquiry activity. So, using methods such as guided research, documents analysis, and question and answer season, you can run inquiry activities in the form of case studies, group projects, research projects, field work, especially for science lesson. So, unique exercise tailored to your students, whichever kind of activity you use. It should be allow students to develop unique strategies for solving open questions. There are four types of inquiry-based teaching strategies. So the first one is information inquiry. So you give a student a question, its answer, and the method of reaching this answer. Their goal is to build investigation and critical thinking skills, learning how to specific method works. The second one is structured inquiry. You give student an open question and an investigation method. They must use the method to craft an evidence-backed conclusion. The third one is guided inquiry. You give student an open question, typically in a groups. They designed investigation methods to reach a conclusions. And the fourth one is open inquiry. You give student time and support. They pose original questions that they investigate through their own methods and eventually present their result to discuss and expand. Regardless of the type, inquiry-based teaching strategies aim to develop student abilities to analyze, synthesize, and evaluate information, indications of high-level thinking, according to Bloom's taxonomy. That's end my discussion.
So let us move on the 7 benefits of inquiry-based teaching, as well as building skills to help students reach a high level of thinking. Inquiry-based teaching can deliver other benefits to students and teachers. So first, reinforces curriculum content. Whereas some see inquiry-based teaching as a departure from the curriculum, you can use it to reinforce relevant content and improve understanding of core concepts. This is due to curiosity's effect on the brain when a concept sparks curiosity. There is increased activity in the hippocampus, which is the region of brain responsible for memory creation. When students show more curiosity than normal regarding a specific topic, um, satiate it by using their questions to introduce an inquiry activity in the coming days. Second, warms up the brain for learning. Running a brief inquiry activity to start class can help students absorb information throughout the day, according to the same study. Specifically, it states that curiosity prepares the brain for learning, allowing students to become more proficient at understanding and remembering skills and concepts. An easy way to inspire curiosity is by launching an inquiry activity as a surprise. Related to our recent topic, students found especially rather interesting. Begin a lesson by playing a video or sharing a primary source document. Then, give students an open question to answer rather, either individually or as a group. This will help start class in a curiosity sparkling and intellectually stimulating way. Third is promotes a deeper understanding of content. By delving into a concept through inquiry, students should see it as more than a simple rule, idea, or formula. Many of them will understand. First, how the idea was developed. Second, why the rule or formula works. When they can properly apply the rule, idea, or formula. This is because the process of asking open questions, solving them through original strategies, empower students to take ownership of their learning. Um, Barring hiccups, they should be able to build understanding of a concept through their own um, methods and thinking styles. The same principle applies to experiential learning, which puts students at the center of the learning experience. Number 4, helps make learning rewarding. Inquiry can help students see the intrinsic rewards of learning, says an oft-cited article from the Harvard Educational Review. Inherent benefits of learning. He hypothesized that inquiry-based teaching instills a different mindset. It shows students how fulfilling the act of discovery is, and that theorizing a new strategy or original conclusion is a reward. Because of this, they grow to enjoy the learning process itself, not parent or teacher approval. This means that student appreciation for learning can improve with a simple inquiry exercise. Number 5, builds initiative and self-direction. Students can improve certain transferable skills through inquiry-based teaching, many of which relate to initiative and self-direction. This is evident when examining the steps of this inquiry process. Students learn how to ask questions, investigate, discuss, collaborate, cooperate, and reach their own conclusions. Although they can separately rather build the skills through other activities, self-guided inquiry and analysis synthesizes this development. Such skills will not only prove useful as students rather reach higher grades, but enter post-secondary school and beyond. Number 6, works in almost any classroom. Any based teaching can also benefit teachers, as you can repurpose activities for almost any classroom. Even regardless of grade and individual skills levels, this is because you can first adapt the pace and content to suit the needs of students. Appeal to students who struggle to grab content through traditional lessons. Deliver exercises that greatly differ. Using distinct content and investigation methods, use an inquiry exercise as either a minds on review, activity, fall lesson, and standalone project. Reinforce and expand upon any relevant concept as long as students have shown curiosity towards it. Number 7, run a check-in afterwards. Allotting time for class-wide reflection lets students discuss challenges and discoveries, filling knowledge gaps and supplementing findings. This prepares them for future lessons and inquiry activities. They will learn about an array of ideas to consider throughout their study of the specific topic, and strategies to try during the next exercise. It can be especially helpful for learners who struggle in small groups, giving them a different way to process the activity's outcomes. So these are the seven benefits of inquiry-based teaching.
To be continued, there are 7 teaching-based teaching strategies and activities for teachers. Like any teaching method, there are strategies to help you successfully run an inquiry activity, and these activities or strategies will also allow you and your students to enjoy the full extent of inquiry-based learning's benefits. Number 1. Keep guiding principles in mind to run an inquiry activity. There are broad principles you should follow. Learners are the center of the inquiry process, and you, along with the resources and technology you provide, are there to support them. Inquiry activities themselves should concentrate on building information processing and critical thinking abilities. You should monitor how students develop these skills as they build conceptual understanding of the topic in question. As well as facilitating the exercise, try to learn more about your students' learning habits and inquiry-based learning in general. Keeping these principles in mind should keep you and your students focused on the overarching purposes of inquiry-based learning. Number 2, demonstrate how to participate because students may not be familiar with inquiry-based learning. Consider demonstrating how to participate in an inquiry activity. Specifically, they must learn how to contribute ideas, develop those ideas, question themselves and group members in a constructive manner, and investigate to the fullest extent possible their ideas and hypotheses. Launching a mock exercise for the class to tackle as a group, actively participate to give a first-hand look at how to complete these steps. For example, after presenting an open question, facilitate and contribute to a brainstorming session. This will exemplify pitching and developing ideas. Demonstrating how to participate in this way should prepare students for future exercises. Number 3. Surprise students to spark curiosity and enjoy its aforementioned benefits. Run a surprise inquiry activity with little to no context. Start class by playing a video, handing out a mathematical formula or list of math word problems, distributing a primary source document. The content piece must relate to a topic that interests students, effectively engaging them. After they've examined the content, split them into small groups and give them an open question to answer. For example, you may ask them to determine applications for the mathematical formula or word problems. As research about curiosity indicates, their findings and conclusions should stick with them beyond the activity. Number 4. Use inquiry when traditional methods won't work. Structured or guided inquiry activities can lend themselves to topics that students typically struggle to grasp, allowing them to process content in different ways. Investigating a question you present. They should be able to use their own techniques to analyze information that may normally be too challenging otherwise. As a result, they'll likely form conclusions that make sense to them. You can then discuss these conclusions and fill knowledge and gaps. To ensure everyone is on the same page, furthermore, monitoring students throughout the activity can teach you about their learning styles, informing how to approach other difficult lessons. If you are writing report card comments, you may use the opportunity to observe student behavior. Number 5. Understand when inquiry won't work. Inquiry-based learning delivers its share of benefits, but you must recognize which lessons don't call for inquiry. Take this scenario as an example. You want to run a guided inquiry activity for math class, which, letter A, introduces negative integers, and letter B, requires students to determine the concept's application in real-life scenarios. Asking students to read an introductory text about negative integers will likely drain time and cause confusion. On the other hand, a brief overview will allow them to spend more time on the latter part of the activity, which focuses on analysis and discovery. As this example shows, there are cases when a simple explanation will suffice over an elongated activity. Number 6. Don't wait for the perfect question. A student can ask a question that stimulates classmates' curiosity, signaling you to prepare for lunch, an inquiry activity. But this is rarely the case, and you shouldn't wait for it. Rather, you can initiate an inquiry activity when you feel it is appropriate. But it must use a guiding question that reflects a core curriculum concept, has engaged students from past or other classes, interests students, as indicated in previous lessons and discussions. The question's source, whether from you or your students, is secondary. Number 7, the last one. Run a check-in afterwards, allotting time for class. Wide reflection lets students discuss challenges and discoveries, filling knowledge gaps and supplementing findings. This prepares them for future lessons and inquiry activities, and they learn about an array of ideas to consider throughout their study of the specific topic, and strategies to try during the next exercise. It can be especially helpful for learners who struggle in small groups, giving them a different way to process the activity's outcomes. Once again, good day everyone, and we are from Group 3.